little bit. We got a lot to discuss today, and I want to start off with some business. Uh, yeah, let me get straight to it. First, I would like to give a RIP shout out to Terrence Hooper Jr. And put his picture on the screen. For those who don't know, Terrence was the brother of our sister Kimberly Nuke McLaurin. Terrence is 29 years old. He was born and raised in Harlem. Transit family. As you guys know, Nuke is a train operator. Nuke's father, Terrence Hooper Sr., is a train operator. Terrence himself, Terrence Jr. Himself was a traffic checker, worked in Map Store. He been on the job since 2013. Born and raised in Harlem. I never got a chance to meet him, but I heard that he was very lovable, funny, charismatic, and it's really tough, man. This whole entire 2020 has been very weird, man. Very weird, and it seemed like what we got to do to escape this. I'm saying what we got to do to escape this 2020 nightmare, because that's what it has become. I was looking at on Twitter the other day and looking at Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Crazy. They died in a helicopter crash, and then we had my brother LaShawn Craig. His mom's passed away. So many of our coworkers passed away. Loved ones passed away. This whole entire 2020 has been unforgettable. I really hope that 2021 be better. But as far as like Terrence is concerned, Nuke, Terrence Sr., Nuke Mother, just know that Progressive Action is here for you guys. Whatever you guys need. Nuke, you got a lot of love in transit. And I know a lot of people is going to make sure that you're okay, as they should. And we got your back. Your team got your back. You ain't got to worry about anything. We're going to make sure that everything is okay. So I want to take, just give a little moment of silence for Terrence Jr. And let's start it now. All right. Man, like I said, rough 2020, man. Rough 2020. Transit family, transit worker, RP Terrence. Now we got a lot of stuff to uncover today. It's been a crazy, tell you the truth, it's been a crazy 24 hours um, for me personally. Um, Dealing with, I take this union stuff very passionately. I really care. And just seeing some of the stuff that the union do really bothers me. But before I even get into that, because that's going to be the meat and potatoes of the show. Before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the vaccine, just a little bit, just a little bit. So everyone know that there's two vaccines. We got the Moderna vaccine. We got the Pfizer vaccine. Now, I was on Clubhouse. Clubhouse have to be like one of the best apps I ever was on. There's a lot of information on there. And I was on a panel full of black doctors. And one of them put me on to a website called clinicaltrials.gov. And they made it known that that the observation period for the Moderna vaccine is not over until October 27th, 2022. And that date is set for the long-term effects of the vaccine. They already deemed, the FDA or whoever already deemed that the short-term effects of the vaccine is safe. But the long-term vaccine effects, they still monitoring. So it's not over until October 27th, 2022. Now, I'm not telling you not to get the vaccine. You could do whatever you want, but do it at your own risk. But being the fact that this vaccine is not being finished, the observational period, because I don't care if it's short term or long term. The observation period for this vaccine is not over until October 27th, 2022. To me, it says that you will be a guinea pig because they still observing what could happen. So, like I said, I'm not telling you not to take the vaccine, but do it at your own risk. You see, I got it squared off there. It says it there. If you want to look yourself, the website is clinicaltrials.gov. You go there if you want. And we go do a little bit more of COVID talk. Now, I have a problem with this. Cuomo started a vaccine equity task force. And as you can see, it's nothing but minorities. You have Rosanna Rosado, you have Letitia James, you have Mark Morial, you have Pat Wang. Now, speaking of equity and minorities, Cuomo, I have a question because I know that you listen to the show. I have a question. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Jaden's having a meltdown over here. All right. Hold on one second. I'm on the show live right now. So I'm going to call Jaden when I get off. That's my son calling me on FaceTime. He's having a meltdown right now. That's how real life is right now. Hold on. I call you. My son wants. Hold on. Can you say that for the people on the show? What Jaden want to do? He's crying because he want to go to Benihana. This is what I got. My son want to go to Benihana. All right, bye. My son wants to go to Benihana at 7:35 p.m. and he's having a meltdown because he can't go to Benihana. Let me segue off for a second real quick. My son used to go to Benihana before this whole thing was got crazy. We used to go to Benihana every week. I love Benihana. So I used to treat my son to Benihana every weekend. We did that for about 6 months straight, every weekend Benihanas. Now my son loves Benihana, and when he can't get Benihana, he gets upset. He's having a meltdown right now, his mother said. So after the show, I'll call him and quiet him down. We'll go to Benihana. We'll find a way to go to Benihana because I don't know if it's shut down with the new restrictions or whatever the case is. But just to segue in. But back to this COVID-19 vaccine equity task force. My question is this. When are you going to create an economic equity task force, Cuomo? When are you going to create an educational task force, Cuomo? When are you going to create a systemic racism task force, Cuomo? And I'm talking about for black people because the reason you created this vaccine equity task force was to target blacks. Why don't you make a task force, once again, that targets equity in education, equity in economics, equity in systemic racism? That's what I want to see a task force for. Now, this is the issue. These politicians, they want to push the vaccine on us and talk about the healthcare gap and comorbidities as if economics, education, and systemic racism do not play a part in this whole entire equation. And what they try to do is try to make this whole thing like try to make healthcare um not include economics, education, and systemic racism, and they try to say that is not inclusive of it, but it is inclusive of it instead of exclusive. They try to make it exclusive instead of inclusive. You cannot fix the healthcare gap without addressing economics, the education, and systemic racism. It's just not going to work. Um, and even if people get the vaccine, guess what still remains? The comorbidities will still be there. Why? Because the education gap is there, the economic gap is there, and the systemic racism gap is there. So getting the vaccine is not going to fix anything. So if you want to do something for black people, create task force once again for economics, education, and systemic racism. That's all the vaccine news talk for today. Um, for those who don't know, the MTA is now keeping track of assaults and harassment on MTA workers. This has been something that Progressive Action has been pushing for. We wanted to see this for a very long time. And now they putting it out there because and these numbers need to be seen as to what's happening with us MTA workers on the job. So these are the stats for the month of November. As you can see, they have it by week. So the week beginning of 11/16/20. Well, they at the bottom from 11/2/20, it starts from there and it goes up. So from 11/2/20, you have 47 total of harassment and assaults in buses and subways. The next week after that, you have 58. The next week after that, you have 52. So let's go to the next week. For the next week after that, you had 41. For the next week after that, you had 35. Now, there has been a total. This is their numbers, not mine. A total of 233 harassment and assaults for the month of November for MTA workers alone. Now, this is unacceptable in the highest degree because it shows that us MTA workers do not have any protection out here. No protection whatsoever. And let's keep in mind, these are reported incidents. There is, I bet, hundreds more of harassment and assault incidents unreported because workers are afraid of retribution by the MTA. People know that if you complain, the complainer will get retribution by the MTA. Don't listen to what Sarah Feinberg says. She that's there. Do you really expect the MTA to go out in front of the media and say that we're wrong? You know, we handled this wrong. We're not doing right by the. Do you expect them to say that? That's why you need progressive action. Now, you do expect your union leadership to go out there and say that, but they are nothing but a yellow union, a company union. For those who don't know, a yellow union, aka company union, is a union that represents the management more than they represent their own members. So I don't expect for the MTA to be honest about what they dropped the ball on. They're going to continue to cover up. They're going to continue to lie. And they're going to continue to do whatever they need to do to control the narrative on their behalf. Everybody know, you complain around here, you will become a target. Bottom line, you know, there's a lot of people on probation who don't report these incidents because they're afraid to be fired, because all through school call, they are being threatened with their job. That needs to change. That needs to change. It's crazy out here. To be honest with you guys, I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with it. Like, something seriously needs to change here. Let's get into the other news. This type of stuff, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me Very upset. Now, look, if you guys are watching, I need you guys to please share out the show. Share out the show. This is the only platform consistently that stands up for transit workers, that fights back against the MTA, that put passengers and workers on the same level playing field, because the MTA do everything in their power to make us enemies against one another. So make sure you guys share out the show. It's very important. This show is not only for workers, this show is also for the riding public. It's very important that we share out the show. And we're gonna go in. I'm gonna go in tonight. I'm gonna go in tonight. I'm going in. Trust me when I tell you. So as you see on the screen, there was a stimulus bill passed, right? And the MTA needed $4 billion. They got it. But guess who's taking credit? And I'm going to read this real quick. The worker protections in this stimulus deal is a testament to the power of the trade union movement, said Transport Workers Union President John Samuelson. Do you think the Democrats would have done this without us? It's impossible. So guess who's claiming credit of this whole stimulus deal? The weakest union leadership in New York City, TWU Local 100. Now, do we think the Democrats would have done it without them? Hell yeah. They do everything without the union. And I'm going to touch on that because we seem to have short-term memories. But I got to bring things back so we won't have these short-term memories. Now, this is the truth. The truth is that there was a national cry for this stimulus bill. This stimulus push wasn't for only New York City. This was for every city in America. This virus done destroyed every city in America. This fight was not exclusive to Local 100. This was a national fight. What the MTA tried to do was threaten layoffs with not getting the stimulus money. If we don't get the stimulus money, we gonna lay you guys off. BS. And I got a news article coming out on the BBC network, big news organization, this week talking about that. The union was pushing for the MTA to get more money. Now, everyone knows that the MTA are professionals at squandering money. You want to know how to you want to learn how to blow money? Follow the MTA. They are professionals at blowing money. But the union is pushing for this. Oh, the Democrats would have done this without us. Okay. The Democrats wouldn't have done it without you guys. I need someone from the union to explain this then. What happened to this? Explain why we didn't get hazard pay in this stimulus deal, Samuelson. Oh, y'all thought that we forgot. Y'all politicized the deaths on this flyer, saying that a lot of workers have which I use perished because of the coronavirus. So we should get, first of all, we should have been getting hazard pay before this whole coronavirus, but that's a whole nother story. So you mean to tell me, Samuelson, that the trade union movement is so strong, that it could secure $4 billion for the MTA, but you couldn't secure one red penny of hazard pay for your workers? Are you saying that the trade union movement is so strong for the bosses and not the workers? Is that what you're saying? Because what happened to the hazard pay? The MTA are professionals at squandering money. They squander money every year. Every year we hear how they waste money on this, they waste money on that. They just bought a whole fleet of trains that have problems. That's squandering money, Samuelson. But you helped the MTA get $4 billion and not 1 red cent of hazard pay. Who are you really advocating for? The bosses or the members? You guys are not trade unionists. You guys are yellow unionists. You guys are company unionists. You guys are trade managers. You guys do not represent the members. The members get residual effects of whatever you advocate for management. We get residuals. We don't get the main cake. We get the residuals. We get the crumbs. Let's be clear here. You guys stop representing the members a very long time ago. You guys do not represent the members here in Local 100. You guys represent management. And like Samuelson said, now you guys represent politicians. You guys represent the Democrats. We need a union leadership that's going to represent the members. Members first. Not management. Not making sure management get $4 billion. Them layoffs wasn't really going to come. What happened to our hazard pay? $4 billion for the MTA. No, not 1 penny of hazard pay for the workers. I need you guys to remember that. I need you guys to remember that. Why do we always got to get last? Why we can't get anything first? Let me make sure nobody called. Somebody calling in. Why can't we get first? I want to get through the show before I take any calls tonight. It's a lot of stuff on my mind. A lot of stuff. I'm angry, very angry, because the disrespect just keep getting deeper. And the thing is that this is a mostly minority workforce. This is a mostly African American union, and they treat us because they think that we stupid. They think that we dumb. They know that we don't care. We only care about going to work, coming home. A lot of us think securing the bag is doing your 8 and skate. No, securing the bag is actually when you get in trouble and that bag is at stake, you know how to protect yourself from them taking your bag. That's protecting the bag or securing the bag, right? They know that's all that we care about. And they run rampant with the politics. They tell us anything and we believe it. Those days are going to come to an end very soon because the disrespect is at an all-time high. And I seen it yesterday. And I want to explain to you guys why it's at an all-time high. First and foremost, before I go on this tirade, I want to send peace and love to Garrett Goebel family. Peace and love to them, his family, his mother, his wife, his children. This has absolutely nothing to do with you guys. Nothing to do with you guys. Peace and love to you guys. But this has everything to do with the politics and propaganda that Tony Utano, Eric Logel, and the rest of them is playing with the death of your loved one. Now I'm going to say this, and I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I don't care who get mad. I never care who got mad. End of the day, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna keep it regular. But I don't care who get mad. This whole entire now this picture, what this picture represent is that they had something for Garrett Goebel at Flatbush. And this was so disgusting on so many levels. Not only on the MTA behalf, because they responsible too, but also on the union behalf, because they are politicizing Garrett Goebel's death. Now, I didn't know Goble personally, but he had a lot of love on his property. He had a lot of friends on his property who cared about him a lot. And they continue to do so in his death. That's how you know he was loved when he was alive. Because I seen many coworkers die at this job, and I never seen the type of love that Garrett Goble received. He was very loved at this job. For the union to deliberately not announce this press conference so his friends and coworkers can attend was a nasty, nauseating political move. Why didn't they announce this event? It was planned. Why didn't they announce it? It's because they wanted a campaign photo op. They didn't want to share the stage with anyone who may be opposition to them. They didn't want to announce it because they didn't want the opposition there. That's what this was about. Coincidentally, every vice president of the union was there, but not one friend and coworker of Goble's was alerted that this was going down. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna break this down because they are campaigning on Goble's death. That's what they're doing, and that's what makes this thing so nasty, and this what makes me so angry. The next thing they're going to say is that, oh, we're going to plan a memorial, and we're going to make sure everybody's there. We're going to do it big, and we're going to. It's all BS. Every letter of it is BS. The members should be a part of every public step of honoring Goble. The members should be a part of every single step. His friends should be a part of every single step of honoring him. If you look at that picture, none of them knew Goble. None of them knew Goble. Utano didn't know Goble. Eric didn't know Goble. None of the bus VPs knew Goble. None of the stations people knew Goble. Sarah Feinberg didn't even know Goble. But they are standing there instead of the people who worked with him every day, instead of the people who loved him, besides his family. This was nothing but a political move. And it's nasty. It's nasty. And then you had this cornball, Eric Logel. This was his response. Today's event for T.O. Goble was set up by the MTA, and due to COVID, they limited attendance to the family officials and the police. That is BS. So you mean to tell me that due to COVID, the MTA controlled the narrative on a ceremony for a TWU member and dictated if his colleagues can be in attendance or not? Is that what happened? You allowed the MTA to dictate what type of love your member should get. Once again, who are you guys representing? The members or the MTA? It wasn't up to them. They did not work with that man every single day. None of them don't even know that man. How can you let them set the parameters of how this thing should function? But this is the weird thing. He's saying that due to COVID, members can't mobilize in an outdoor event, open air. Members can't do that because the MTA said that the police is going to be limited and everybody's going to be limited. And an open air event. But you trying to tell me operating a packed bus is quite fine? There was more people in this bus than it was at that press conference standing with you guys. But this is okay. This is okay. But that's not. I need answers. This is okay. But that's not. Packed crew rooms is okay. But this is not. This is how you know this entire thing was politicized. So for a fallen worker in an outdoor open air event, we must observe COVID and social distancing. But when it comes to bus operators operating packed buses where people is not wearing masks, that is okay. This must come to an end. This must come to an end. The MTA set the precedence. It's okay for the MTA and the union managers to be social distance and make sure that they are safe, but it's not okay for you to operate a bus that's packed. I mean, it's okay for you to operate a bus that's packed because they don't care about you. It's about time we start shutting this down. We got to start shutting this down. This is nasty. But once again, let's pay attention. Let's pay attention. Because Eric tried to say that this was set up by the MTA, which he was trying to insinuate, oh, since it was set up by the MTA, we didn't have say and we didn't have much notice. But coincidentally, if you go look at the video on the union page, the union had wrapped Christmas gifts for Goebel family, which shows you that they had prior knowledge that this was going down. So something that you are insinuating happened spontaneously, because I'm trying to figure out what's your angle. Are you trying to say that it happened spontaneously and it wasn't enough time to give members notice? Or you just said that the MTA just told you guys that we're going to dictate to you what type of service that your members should have in an outdoor open air event? Both ways is crazy for you guys to bend to. But you guys had prior knowledge to go order toys or go to a store, buy toys, gift wrap them, and give them to his family. You guys had prior notice to do that. So, which means that you guys knew that this was going down all along. So, and let me get this straight. The media got an email saying that there was a press conference going on for this event and the members didn't get anything. The media got notice before the members. The media didn't know him either. This was totally disrespectful for every one of his coworkers, everyone on his job who got love for him, got love for his family. This is total disrespect on behalf of Local 100 and the MTA. It was disgusting and disingenuous. Very. Very. And the thing about and the union leadership got this competition thing going on with the workers. They compete with Progressive Action. And now we done seen them compete with Belinda Peake and Mike Teller. They the ones who set up a fund for Garrett family collecting money from everyone. They did that. I think they raised close to $100,000. Unprecedented. Beautiful. They decided recently to do a toy drive. Beautiful. Unprecedented. Salute to them. Salute to them because they did not have to do it, but it shows you the type of love, not only them setting it up, but the type of love that people that participated in both of these events, to leave those people out is disgusting. It's disgusting. And it shows you that there's a clear distinction between union leadership and the members. The union troll on social media all the time. They make up fake accounts. Utano see all of our posts. They know what go on social media. Why couldn't they reach out to Belinda and Mike, who are not political people, and say, hey, why don't we do this together? You guys are doing an excellent thing. Why don't we do this together? Why didn't they reach out to them? But it shows you that there's a distinction. The union leadership is in actual competition with the members. They always want to have a one-up on the members who trying to do anything positive for their coworkers. Belinda is a supervisor, but she knew Goebel. Mike is a train operator. No, they have no political aspirations. Why couldn't you guys get with them instead of competing with them and say, we want to give you guys some toys? Nasty and disgusting. The crazy thing is that they don't represent us, but they don't represent us, nor do they want us to represent them. This union leadership is out of their mind. Out of their mind. I don't understand. It was a public thing. You guys, if you guys didn't want the public, if it wasn't a public thing and you guys wasn't using this to stand on your soapbox, why did you invite all the media there? I don't want to hear that the MTA invited the media. You guys knew. You guys knew that a press conference was going down for this, and there was going to be media there. Whenever the MTA want to promote themselves, they're going to make sure that the media is there. They're going to make sure of that. And you guys had prepackaged gifts to give to the family. You guys didn't even try to sell it that it was last minute. Oh, gave them some gifts that wasn't unwrapped. Those gifts was wrapped up. This was planned. This is beyond disgusting because, like I said, I didn't know Goebel, but he was my coworker. But you had people there who worked with Goebel, who knew Goebel, who considered Goebel family, and they weren't invited. The members should be a part of every process, whether it's honoring Goebel, like what you guys decided to do yesterday, or if it's going to court. We're going to discuss that. But to deliberately X out the members to avoid what you guys consider opposition coming in and taking photos because you guys want to use this as campaign fodder. From campaign fodder. Yo, Roberto, if you want to call in, call in. I want you to call in, Roberto. Call into the show, Roberto, because you got something to say about this. Call into the show. And then it gets nastier, people. It gets nastier. It gets nastier. It gets Roberto, if you're listening right now, please call into the show, man. It gets nastier. Next thing you know, a flyer like this pops up. for some reason, they seem to make this thing about them. They seem to make this thing about them. This Antifa looking weirdo, Eric Logel, decides to tell a communications department to put a flyer together of him holding up his middle finger, making this whole thing about him. Campaign material, making this whole thing about him. Antifa looking weirdo, doofball, talking about rot in hell. The politicizing don't get more disrespectful than this. Somehow, this weirdo seemed to make this whole entire thing about him now. I never seen nothing like this. Normally, you will see the victim on the flyer, not a union rep that put his tough middle finger up like it really, like that middle finger really hurt him, Eric. It really hurt him. I'm quite sure your middle finger crushed him to death. Weirdo. This is about Goebel family getting justice. This is about Goebel friends getting justice. This is about Goebel co-workers getting justice. This is not about you getting a communications department to put up a flyer with you on it, acting like you some type of union tough guy. If you really felt the way, Eric, when that dude was being let out the precinct and you was angry and you was upset, you're on union release. Why didn't you rush him? Why didn't you spit on him if you felt any kind of way? He killed one of our workers. Why didn't you go throw a punch at him, coward? But your big bad middle finger scared him to death. Coward, man. I don't even know how you guys can even believe in some of these these fake fights, man. These fake fights is insane. And look, I wanted Roberto to call in, but he ain't calling. But I'm gonna say this, right? As you look into the chat, Roberto said, I got a call from the former lead detective an hour before the event. And Roberto called me about 15 minutes before the event started. And I honestly didn't believe it was going down because I didn't believe that they would do something like that without informing the members, but it actually went down. But I'm going to say this. I don't want to say too much. Let me think about how I'm going to say this. I want to think about how I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say this. It's possible that, first of all, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? Because that's how the justice system's supposed to work. You're innocent until proven guilty. I don't want to say too much. But it's very possible, because remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. It's very possible that the person that they got arrested is not the person who started this fire. And there was a reason why he was let go in the first place. And I believe that the reason that he was arrested finally is because it was pressure put on the MTA, it was pressure put on the NYPD, and it was pressure put on the union. And the reason why he ended up getting arrested is because of those political pressures. The transit chief was being very criticized. The new transit chief was being very criticized for not attending meetings, board meetings, MTA board meetings. And I think that they wanted to do something to redeem themselves. But it's very possible that the person that's arrested is not the person who did it. And that's why it took them so long to arrest him. He's an EDP. It's very easy. We already know. A lot of us been through this process of being in interrogating rooms, and we know the games that the NYPD play. There was a reason why he probably wasn't arrested when this thing first happened, because they had him in custody. They knew who he was. So I'm not going to allow all of these Caucasian people, I'm going to say it like that because I don't care. I'm not going to allow all these Caucasian people, Tony Utano, Sarah Feinberg, that new transit chief, scapegoat any black person. We want the person arrested who did this. We do. But arresting the wrong person may not get it. People are innocent until proven guilty. There was a reason why he wasn't arrested originally with this, and that's what I'm gonna say on that. That's what I'm gonna say on that. That's what I'm gonna say on that. And to be honest, all of the pictures that the MTA put up of this guy, coincidentally, there wasn't no smoke, there wasn't no fire, people wasn't in a rush to get out of there. It wasn't nothing going on. But if he did it, he need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But I do not trust this system. I done seen this system do this thing countless times, over and over and over again. And it was political pressure sometimes that make these things go down. So I hope they got the right person, because we can't afford for someone else to go through this again. We can't afford it. We simply can't afford it. I would love for Roberto to call in. No, he ain't call in. I'll get him on another show, and we're going to discuss this. Let me make this bigger, man. Let me make this bigger. But you guys want to see some weak union leadership? You guys want to see some weak union leadership? Here they go right here. Here they go right here. You want to see some weak union leadership? Here they go right here. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and the same goes for a union led by this weak administration. Let me introduce them to you guys. We have Anthony Tony Utano. He's the president of Local 100. We have Linwood Witchard, big disappointment, administrative vice president. We have Earl Phillips. And Earl, Roger Toussaint. You said that I called you a coconut. Why would I call you a coconut? Now, I was discussing this with Roger Toussaint, and he told me to tell you, and I'm going to tell you in your face when I see you. He told me to tell you, you are a coconut. And Roger is Trinidadian. And he's saying, he told me to tell you that you're a coconut. And when I see you in person, I'm going to tell you that you're a coconut. I'll be happy to deliver that message. Latanya Crisp, big disappointment. Richard Davis, I don't even know what's up with you, my man. JP Patafio, you tried to pull a stunt on Utano earlier this year. We're not going to let you forget. You tried to make a presidential run against Utano. You tried to bring your little goon squad, try to take a stance, and you guys end up sticking your tails between your legs and going back to Utano once you figured out that you ain't have the support that you thought you would have. Cornballs. John Chiarello, super cornball, weirdo. Eric Logel. There's not even words to describe. He's one and done. Jesse, I'm telling you this right now. You want to win an election? You're going to have to get away from Eric. Eric couldn't help you win an election. He's the VP. He couldn't help you win an election. I got both of you guys elected. Now you guys see you cannot win without Tremel Thompson and Progressive Action. Eric is a one and done. We don't have to worry about him. Anybody could win against Eric at this point. Shirley Martin. I heard a lot of good things about Shirley when she was a part of the Roger Toussaint era. But her time has expired. She has sold her soul. She has sold her soul. Her time is up. She has got with the oppressors. She has got with the people who destroyed this union. She is a sellout. She is a sellout. Pete Risconi. Pete may be the most Pete Risconi, he don't like people of color. He probably the most racist of this bunch. He just targeted one of his reps and got them thrown out the union because his rep had helped a black woman. Pete Risconi has been very critical of me because I am a black man. He's another cornball. Pete Risconi is so outdated. You guys know when we watching them Right to Know videos and you see the lady with the mullet, Pete Risconi wears a mullet. His time is up. His time is up. Robert Kelly. Now this was funny. I just had a talk with Robert Kelly, right? I put up a post about him. News got back to him. In less than 15 minutes, he gave me a call. We had a conversation. We spoke for over an hour. One of the things Kelly said to me was, do you think that basically do I think that he's a sellout? And if I say yes, it probably was gonna hurt his feelings. And I told him, when you choose silence, you choose the side of the oppressor. Not one time did I see you stand up for your members against what Utano and them was doing. Not one time. You chose silence, my man. All of that sweet talk, because you're a great talker. I told you that. You're a great talker. You know how to manipulate. But that's coming to an end because you full of it. You choosing silence. You're not choosing the side of the members. All of these antics is going to come to an end. Every single last one of these antics is going to come to an end. When you look at this flyer, and I'm not using ageism against anyone, but look at them. If you add up all their ages, you probably get 1,000 years old. I'm exaggerating, but you probably get 650 years between them. Utano, a dinosaur. Witchard. You look good for your age. I ain't gonna lie, but you was a dinosaur, my man. I don't care how many backflips and tumble rolls you could do. You are a dinosaur. Earl Phillips, dinosaur. Latanya Crisp, washed. Richie Davis, washed. J.P. Patafio, washed. Chiarello, I don't know how old you are, but I'm figuring that you're at least 50. Washed. Eric, you're 37. You look like you're about 63. Finish. Shirley Martin, you got to go. Pete Risconi, your mullet says it all. Robert Kelly, you're a sellout. You guys got to go. There's absolutely no youth in this TWU union leadership, and you wonder why we are behind. They are fighting old tactics that's outdated against an evolving MTA. Old tactics against an evolving MTA, and you want to know why we sold out. And only reason Eric got elected was because of me. That's why Eric got elected, and Eric is the youngest because of me. But if Utano would have won, it would have been Costalis is a closest. I think he's 60, 61 or something like that. He's in his late 50s, early 60s. So this would have been a union full of old people because they don't believe in incorporating the youth. They don't believe and new ideas. That's why there's no fight for Tier 6. There's no fight for Tier 6 because they don't care. That's why there's no fight for Tier 6. Whole bunch of dinosaurs is here. They don't have no new ideas. They not being innovative. They not trying to educate us. They want to continue to leave us in the dark. Why not have a mixture? Why not have a mix of the old school and the new school? Why everything got to be old school? How old you are and how much time you got on the job means nothing. I started one of the most powerful movements ever in TWU Local 100. And I had 3 years on the job. Just because someone got 37 years on the job like Utano got 40 years, he'll have 40 years next year, 40 years on the job, that means he fit for it. He's not fit for the job. He's done. He's spoiled milk. Who would drink spoiled milk? These guys are washed up. Yo, Dennis, you want to call in? I'm always open for a debate. You want to call into the show? Let's talk about it. 515-605-9842. If you want to ask a question in real time, let's talk about it. Ain't no ageism. You talking about ageism, racism, whitish. These are the facts of life, my man. Are you mad at me for observating? Are you mad at me for calling it what it is? None of these people on this page is under 50 except Eric. You want to talk about racism? Yeah, we could talk about racism. Why is cleaners start at an inferior wage progression than any other title inside Local 100? You want to know why? Because back in the day, only black people was allowed to be porters, a.k.a. cleaners. Why do cleaners start at 60% of their wage progression while everybody else start at 70% or 85%? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. I ain't say nothing about whitish. I ain't say nothing about that. But we all know what type of system that we work in, right? Systemic racism don't make unions exempt. It does not make unions exempt. Systemic racism occurs right here in Local 100. If you want to talk about it, call in. And if you want to, now there's a difference. If you feel away or I trigger you by using ageism, racism, or as you say, whitish, if those words trigger you, that's a personal issue. But let me know where I'm lying at. If something triggers you personally, that's on you. But if I'm lying, then point it out. Say, Tramel, you're lying. You're lying about it. Point it out. That's the problem with you guys. You guys are too emotional. You guys are too emotional. I have yet to come on this platform and lie. As soon as I mention something about race, oh, you triggered. As soon as I mention something about age, people, not you personally, but you obviously was triggered. But as soon as I mention race, triggered. If I mention age, triggered. If I mention that they are decrepit, triggered. Where am I lying at? I got the picture on the page. You know what? Maybe the next flyer I put out, maybe I have their ages there. Maybe you will see it better. This is a known fact. When you have too much of the old strategy, have you ever read the 33 Strategies of War, my man? Have you ever read the Art of War? Have you ever read the 48 Laws of Power? You ever read any of that? Old tactics don't work when the enemy keeps evolving. How do you keep up with the enemy when they continue to evolve? That's why we are behind as a union, because we failed as a union leadership to evolve. Listen, Dennis, I'm not going to debate with you in comments. If you want to call in, the line is open. I'll keep it open for another couple of minutes for you. Call in. Let's talk about. I'm always available for a healthy discussion, especially in front of people. Because I'm gonna tell you guys this. You guys are going to see. You guys are going to see a new version of me, a totally new version of me. I'm not playing the games anymore. I'm not holding back anymore. And I never held back before, so you can forget about that. But I'm not playing these games no more. I'm calling it as it is. I'm going to be the change that I want to see. We're going to continue to bring the information to the members, whether it's harsh, whether it's going to trigger you, whether it's going to make you emotional. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. The truth of the matter is, everybody in this picture on the screen, they are good. They got union pensions and they got um MTA pensions. They are good. Are you good? Technically, their hazard pay is their second pension. Where's our hazard pay? You want to talk about that? You don't think those things, let me read what you said. You don't think those things you bring up should be even on the table when you're talking about union? Listen, once again, none of this stuff is exclusive of one another. They are inclusive. First of all, let me see who you are. Let me see who you are. I got to see who you are. I got to see who's telling me this. I got to see who's telling me this. Oh, you're a former conductor. Um, you're Caucasian, of course, but you feel that I should not be talking about this. Why do you feel a black man should not be talking about race and how this company is mostly and this union is mostly people of color, mostly black people who are being affected by this? You think that I should remain silent? Let me ask you a question. Let me grab my book real quick. Let me see where my book is at, because I want to ask you a question. Because you obviously don't know the history of this union. I gotta find my book. Let me see if I see it. I swore I just seen it. I gotta find my book because I need for you. I need for you to see what's going on. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, Dennis. I take offense when white people tell me what to talk about that mostly affect my people, because you guys don't understand that it's mostly people of color here. It's mostly black people here. They want to keep us down, and the Caucasian people here are going to be nothing but collateral damage, because in order for them to catch a few of us, they're going to catch a few of you guys also. That's how collateral damage works. But I got to find my book, because maybe you will understand better coming from a Caucasian, um, and coming from what's his name himself. Hold on one second. Where's my book at? Oh, I got it right here. Hold on. Dennis, you ever read this book? You ever read this book? If you want me to buy it for you, I'll buy it for you. Send me your address. I'll send it and buy it for you. It's called In Transit by Joshua Freeman. Did you know that at one time, before black people was on at this job, the people the people they considered the minorities on this job were the Irish, right? And that's why Mike Quill built this union. At one time, the Irish was considered the minorities. Even though they were white, they were considered white minorities. Everything that Quill, um, everything that I'm doing with progressive action, and I did it unknowingly, when I read In Transit by Joshua Freeman, because I got to show you knowledge is power, not emotions. Once again, knowledge is power, not emotions. Emotions isn't power. Knowledge is power. When I read this book, these guys did the same exact thing for the Irish that I'm trying to do for people of color, because it was mostly Irish on the job. They had beefs with the Italians. They had beef with everyone else. This stuff was so serious. If you read the book, that they used to send homemade bombs to each other homes. Now here in Local 100 today, we are afraid to even yell at someone because these cowards here are ready to call the cops. But when Mike Quill was the president, they used to send bombs to each other's house. Mike Quill used to say that he used to know that the Irish was the minorities. They wasn't afraid to talk about that. He wasn't afraid to get his Irish brothers together and get everyone else together, because he know that if he get the majority of his people together, then everyone else will follow and everyone else will benefit. You got to understand, pro-black or pro-people of color doesn't mean anti-anyone else. In order to raise up the ceiling, you got to raise up the floor. A win for the people at the bottom is a win for everyone in between. Now, you're right. A union, yes, there's a lot of nationalities. There's a lot of people here, or whatever the case may be. But this union is not exclusive of what goes down in America. Once again, why do cleaners, what you will learn in this book, black people were only allowed to be cleaners, and I'm schooling you, and I know you probably take some offense to this because I'm young and black. But why was blacks only allowed to be cleaners a part of the MTA? Answer that for me. I need you to call in, though. I need real-time answers, my brother. If we want to ignore race, then answer why cleaners, blacks was only allowed to be cleaners. You want to ignore race, or you want to talk about race? What you want to do? Why blacks was only allowed to be cleaners in this company? Why today in 2020, about to be 2021, cleaners start at an inferior wage progression than any other title in this union? We're not talking about the stations department as a whole. We're talking specifically to cleaners. Why is cleaners starting at an inferior wage progression than any other title? And you trying to tell me that race don't play a factor in this? History repeats itself. In this case, history never went away. So you trying to tell me it happened by accident, that cleaners in this company in 2020 started at an inferior wage progression to anyone else? And you trying to tell me that there's why tell me why it's like that? No, but according to you, I shouldn't talk about race because it's non-existent in this union. No, it's not. It's here, and it's blatant. But I don't understand. I understand why you don't get it, because you don't see the things that we see. You don't get affected the way that we get affected. Yeah, we are a part of the same union. Yeah, we are a part of the same job. But the way you get dealt with and the way I get dealt with is totally different. The way we get dealt with all together in Local 100 is totally different. Did you know that the workforce in Metro North and Long Island Railroad get slaps on the wrist for things that we get punished for here 30 days in the final and fired for? Did you know that? Did you know that you was a conductor? That's what it says in your profile. Did you know in Long Island Railroad and Metro North they getting reprimands for opening up off the platform, but here we getting 30 days in the final? Tell me why that is. And let me tell you what the demographics is. In Long Island Railroad, it's 62% Caucasian. In Metro North, it's 63% Caucasian. And in New York City Transit, it's 78% minority and 49% black alone. Collateral damage works both ways. If you're a part of the company where there's mostly Caucasians, then more than likely if you're black and you make a mistake, you're going to be protected also. If you're a part of the company where there's mostly blacks and you make a mistake and you're white, you're going to feel the wrath of the blacks more than likely. And you trying to tell me that race don't play a factor here? This world is weird, man. This world is weird. I don't just call into the show, man. Let's talk about it. Let's have a live discussion. I don't want you to use Google. I don't want you to use it. Let's have a live discussion, man. Let me take this caller. This caller been on hold for 52 minutes. 8494. You're on a Progressive Action TV show. What's your name? Where you calling from? Oh, hold on.
Jason here.
Jason, how you doing, my brother?
I'm pretty good and you.
I'm good. Let's make this quick because I'm on the road tonight, man. Let's make this quick.
I know you're on the road. Look, let let's let's check in here. The union is a dump. We know that. And having people like Tony O'Tannell, that is a disgrace. He represents his own kind.
He represents his own
And
kind. Okay. hmm
what you show about Eric
You said what?
is, you know, what you show about Eric
Okay.
is he's not a decent person.
He's not a decent pro. We know that. Okay.
I'm come out. I'm 34.
Okay.
He's 3 years older than me.
Yes.
And you know me. You know me perfectly well, Tramal.
Yes.
I don't act like him. I prefer supporting people like you,
Thank you.
Canela, and Luke.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because you guys are like them that go around and acting like a Tifa.
Didn't Eric look like Antifa in that picture? Didn't he look like
Yeah,
Antifa? He looked like an Antifa member, right?
looking for trouble.
Yeah,
Looking for trouble.
looking for trouble. Listen, I gotta go, Jason. I know you go call in every show, but
Oh,
I
uh,
appreciate you for calling.
so no, just to let you guys know,
hmm
the Conference of Essential Workers and myself included are having an event tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock at 212 Fifth Avenue that we're gonna protest in front of Jeff Bezos' penthouse,
Okay.
and all that everybody is invited
Okay.
to this event because we're gonna protest and we're gonna demand tax the billionaires,
Okay.
and we're gonna pray for those Amazon employees and transit employees that have been affected by COVID.
All right. So send me the flyer, and I will put it on. I will put it on the website. All right.
I think I sent it to you already by messenger.
All right. I'm gonna check, and I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on my website. Okay. I,
All
s-
right, so I'll
all right.
solidarity, my brother.
All right. Peace. I'll speak to you later.
All right.
Anybody want to call in and debate? Anybody that don't like what I'm doing want to debate? One thing you're not going to do is call me a liar. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But look, check this out, man. For everyone who support the platform, this platform is not free, right? It works. It works. Donations help. Donations help. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. It's right there on the screen. You see it? It's right there on the screen. Send a Cash App. Um, the PayPal is Progressive Action. It's right there on the screen. Send a PayPal. For the people who really support Progressive Action, if you look in the link of this video, we have something called Patreon. Support the movement. Listen, you guys give away your union dues to the union for free and don't hold them accountable. At least you guys hold me accountable. At least that us at Progressive Action, we giving you guys information weekly. We going against the MTA bosses for you guys every single day. We going against the union when they do BS stuff every single day for you guys. Support who supports you. It's as simple as that. Support who supports you. Oh, I got another caller. I need you guys to donate though. Donate. Donate, 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 donate. Let's get it. Let me see who this last caller is before I go off the show. Caller 2799. You now live on the Progressive Action TV show.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on there, man? What's going on, man? This is Mo.
Mo, where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Harlem.
Harlem. Do me a favor.
Yeah, I'm out of
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Cut whatever you got
Let me
off in the
mute this.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just muted it, man. Tramel, what's going on, man? Hey, listen. Yeah, I'm from Harlem, man. I'm a bus operator, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and let you know, man. You are doing a pretty good job up there, man. But I just had a question for you, not to debate or to challenge anything as far as what you're doing on the show. My question to you is, if you were to be elected and get into a position, what would you be doing differently that the union now is not doing?
I mean, look, you could honestly answer your own question. Look what I'm doing now, right? When you're a part of a
Yes.
union, when you're a part of a union, right? Your job is to educate, fight. Bottom line, right? When have you ever got
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
When have you ever got anything from this union on a weekly basis that educates you, that lets you know what's going um, on a battlefield? Because this is a battlefield, right? We under attack at
Absolutely.
all times, not only by the public, but we under attack by the MTA, the bosses, and even in some cases our own union, right? So really, we need, first of all, if I was to get into office, I will not be a lapdog for the governor. That's our main downfall here. When have you ever heard this union leadership get at the governor?
Absolutely.
Right,
Never.
right. So the governor
And
controls
I just
the governor controls everything with us. He controls our contract. He controlled the narrative during this whole COVID thing. He said that we needed hazard pay and we need to go to the federal government when the hazard pay should have came from the state, like all the other people who got hazard pay. The hazard pay came from the state. But being the fact that our union leadership is compromised and they would rather be friends with the governor than enemies, and it's not friends for the betterment of the union, it's friends for their own personal advancement because we dealing with cornballs here, right? We
absolutely.
dealing with men who probably never had any real friends. So they feel good when they stand next to a governor. They feel good when they stand next to a politician. They feel good when they stand next to an attorney general. Because in their wildest dreams, they use the members to get next to these people. In regular life, they couldn't do that. If you look at the progressive action movement, I done stood with the attorney general. I would never stand with Cuomo because I don't like how he do business
Hmm.
with us, right?
Absolutely.
We stand with politicians, and we doing this from our tools, right? That shows you that we
Hmm.
can get next to these people. I don't need the members. We don't need the members to stand next to these people. They do. These look at this picture I got up, bro. You trying to tell me that these guys would be anything without the union? This is why they stick to it. This is why they hold on to it. They never got this type of recognition ever in their life from anyone. From anyone.
Yeah.
These people are outcast. These people was never
Yep.
at the cool table. You know, these people was never accepted. A lot of these people only became accepted when they became a part of the union. Now, one thing I can say about suckers is that suckers stick together. Us real people, we don't stick together like these suckers stick together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. You're right.
They know how to
Yeah,
stick
you're
together.
right about
They know how to
you're
stick
right
together.
about
Why,
that one.
why, why we can't stick together? Why the real ones can't come together and stick together? Why we always got to be at odds with one another? But we always let the suckers control the board with us. Think about it. Think about this. Whenever we deal with police, right? We always know how to spot the police who never was a part of the cool club, who never was accepted. So they become a part of something that got authority. Now they feel like they the man. It's no different with unions. It's no different with these union reps.
Mm, absolutely.
The psychology is the same. But if I was elected, the whole game. Look at the change that we creating working every day from our tools. I'm a nobody here. I'm just like you. I'm a pass number, my man.
Absolutely.
I don't
Just
get
a
no
number.
I don't get no special privileges. When you ever was
Mm,
allowed to question the president? When was you ever allowed to the president had an open forum where you could question him and you could challenge him live in front of people,
mm,
right? Now,
yeah. Yep.
if they felt I was doing something wrong, I challenged them every week. Call into the show. Come shut me down. If someone was lying on me and they had an open platform, I'm calling their show, shutting them down. You lying. This is not what the business is. This is what it is. Why don't they call in? You called in, right?
Absolutely.
Right? You don't think it's easy for them?
Yep.
You don't think it's easy for them? They watch this. They watch the show. They pay attention to the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But did I answer your question?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks for calling in, bro.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Caller 8475. You now live on the Progressive Action TV show. What's your name and where you calling from? 8475. 8475. You're now live on the Progressive Action TV show. I don't know what happened to them. But yeah, the platform is open for them to call in. They could call in whenever they want. I'm not shy. I'm not hiding. You could call me. You could question me. We can have a live debate. I prefer live debates in front of people. I prefer that. It's authentic. But once again, if you want to donate, before I get into the donation stuff again, once again, we got to send our condolences to the Hooper family, to the McLaurin family. One of our brothers passed away, Terrence Hooper. He was 29 years old. He was born and raised in Harlem. He was a traffic checker. He'd been on the job since 2013, 7 years. He was the brother of Kimberly Nuke McLaurin, train operator, member of Progressive Action, staple member, founding member of Progressive Action. His father is also a train operator. His father is Terrence Hooper Jr. Hooper Sr., my fault, Sr. He's a train operator in the A division. And once again, his sister is Kimberly McLaurin. Condolences to the family. As you can see, this is him in his uniform with Nuke, his sister. And condolences once again to the family. I know this hard, 29 years old, having an unexpected death. This whole 2020 has been rough. So condolences once again to that family. I'm going to take one more call before I get off. Let me see. This caller want to call back. 8475, you back. Progressive Action TV.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, this Kemp? What's happening?
Oh, my brother Kemp. What's going on, bruh?
Ain't nothing, family. What's the word?
Chilling. What's on your mind, man?
Nah, nothing. You know, I actually got a moment off the bus, so I just chimed in when the brother was asking, what would you do differently than what the current union is? The answer is always include the members, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't include the members in anything. What would you do different if you were on top of the world? I would bring everybody who wasn't up to the top with me, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to bring everybody up. And as a leader, you're supposed to give everyone access to the table that you eat dinner from. That's what leaders do. That's what leadership is. That's what unionism is, right? You get access to the table. You give everyone who voted or supported you access to that same seat. Fact. Everyone who rides with you now has a voice at that table. So everyone who's upset with the governor, you're put there to be their mouthpiece to the governor, not to give him more money so he can suppress our vote. If you looked at his press conference the other day, the gentleman from the chief asked him about the tax in Wall Street. He didn't even know what the tax was. He had to defer to what the gentleman's name is. What is Mahika? And he said, "Oh, I'm going to have Mahika answer the question." And Mahika said, "Well, we have no interest in taxing Wall Street because Wall Street's already threatening to take the trading to New Jersey or to other states. So we're not going to do that." Mm. I mean, this is the dude. This is Mr. MTA, right? This is the guy who would rather lay you off, tax the poor, tax everyone else except his donors. And not once has the union ever made mention of it. Not once have they ever even opposed him on that specific issue.
I mean, they never opposed him on anything.
On anything, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
In the history of his tenure, they have never publicly went at him. they're actually taking credit for his fight. The union is actually taking credit for what the governor does. Whatever he wins, they call that a win for them. That is sick. That is a sick narrative. Right? I mean, this guy.
I want to tell you this, Kemp. I'm very proud of the work you have been putting in. You have been doing some outstanding work. It reminds me of the work that I put in early with Progressive Action, and your voice is needed. Your voice is needed. Now, for the people who don't know, how I met Kemp, we went to the same college a couple of years ago, and I met him. I think he was coming off the elevator, and I was going up the elevator, and he was like, "Yo, you Tremel?" Right. And I'm like, "Yeah," or whatever the case was. And Kemp is a crazy individual. I used to be in the middle of class. Kemp used to come inside my class. "Yo, Tremel, what's up?" I'm like, "Yo, this dude is crazy." But I've been trying to get Kemp on board for a minute, and I'm happy that he is on board because Kemp is going to do some big things and great things.
Fully on board. You know, there's people who sit on the tugboat, there's people who sit on the raft, and then there's people who are on the ship. We are all in, baby. This is Progressive Action.
See,
we are all in.
I love that. And Kemp got what it takes to dethrone a lot of the stuff that's going on here. And I sit back and I watch him. And I smile because I'm like, yo, this dude is gonna be something special here. He's gonna be something special.
I appreciate that. But that's because it's about the members, right? I mean, they're playing a game, and that's what's so corny about them, right? They're really playing a game. They're playing a game. They're playing Jenga with people's lives just because they want to be able to go back to their house and tell their wives, their husbands, their cousins, their brothers how important they are and look at me on TV. We're dealing with 44, 45,000 members who, by all means and intents and purposes, have been losing over the last 8 or 9 years when it comes to collective bargaining. And they're fine with that because they're not the ones really losing. I would have to ask, what losses have they taken? What concessions have they given personally? When they say, well, it's the same contract and we all get the same benefits, yes, but you still are released and you still get a double pension and you still get perks that the average member don't get, and you don't get the levels of discipline or the levels of harassment or the levels of assaults that the members do, but yet you want to condemn a member for speaking up against what's right, or at least what the member feels. I mean, you're not even respectful enough to hear the member. You actually mute the members and tell the members, well, it's our way or no way. Well, who are you? Who are you to say that? What have you done to tell any member that a member doesn't have a right to speak about how they feel from their everyday tools? Whatever you're dealing with every day should be important. And for people to turn a blind eye to that and say, hey, don't worry about it, we got more important things to worry about, I want to know what those important things are. Are those dinners in Albany? Are those handshakes with Sarah Feinberg? Are those pats on the back from Pat Foy? I don't know how that translates to the actual members. When the members are really out here putting in work, not for the members' own sake, for the legacy of the union, right? I mean, what is the legacy? What is, when we talk about how you just spoke about Nuke and her father and her brother, I mean, we're talking about legacies. We're talking about family lineage that come here because the job has been sacred and protected for future generations. I would like that if my son wanted to drive a bus one day, that the same benefits I was afforded, he would be afforded. I don't see that happening because those rights are being sold out by people who don't care about our future. They only care about theirs. It's disgusting.
I agree, my brother. I agree.
But we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it because we're not afraid. See, that's the first part of it, right? I'm not afraid to tell them that they're liars to their face. I know they're liars. They know they're liars. It's just they've gotten so comfortable of no one telling them that they're liars. There's nothing they can do to me, and I hope they're listening. There's nothing they can threaten me with. There's nothing they can stand in front of me with. There's no agenda. There's no secret society handshakes. There's no backdoor deals that they can put together that will ever threaten me from speaking up for what's right. So they can continue being anarchists. They can continue being conspirators. They can continue being the bosom buddies club, but that's about 5,000 of them compared to 40,000 members who are really starting to become aware to how corrupt they actually are. So nonetheless, I'll leave you to rest of the closing show. I just wanted to tap in. I haven't spoken to you in a couple of days. I've been running, but great show, and we here, brother. We here.
Yeah, we here. I can't wait till your next live, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna put one out. You know, they keep giving us material, but you got to watch them because every time we tell them, every time we fight management, it's like they want to come out and carry a sword like they're the one who slayed the dragon when the dragon's already been dead and buried. They want to stand on top of the grave and say, look, you see, we stood on top of the dead dragon.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, and this is a tactic. When you see that, you call them out. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep it to ourselves. Sometimes the members don't see what we see, right? Because we got foresight.
Right.
So you gotta call them out, make them feel uncomfortable. That's it. And you're doing an excellent job, man. But we gonna turn it up a notch on
100, brother. Yeah, we about to. Don't worry. We got to get out of 2020. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to come out of my house. I just want to sit in my house until the clock strikes 12 on 2021 and come out big-chested. But right now, I'm afraid. If you want to know what I'm afraid of, I'm afraid of the next week and a half. This is going to be the longest week and a half of my life. I'm afraid to open my eyes, to turn on the news, to answer the phone. Forget it. Forget it. I just want peace and prosperity in every form and fashion of that word. Just give me peace. Just give me peace for the next week and a half. And I wish everybody just as healthy as possible, man, because this has been a trying year, my brother.
Facts, man. All right, thanks for calling in, bro. We speak later.
Yeah, yeah, I'll rap with you.
Right,
Call
peace.
me if you need me.
All right, peace. Yeah, so once again, if you want to donate to the Progressive Action TV show, the Cash App is Progressive Action 100. Hit my Cash App. Hit my Cash App. Somebody drop something in there, man. Drop something in there. Support who supports you. We support you. You support us. That's how it works. We don't support each other enough. Support the platform. If you want to do it via Cash App, like I said, Progressive Action 100. If you want to do it via PayPal, the PayPal is Progressive Action. And if you want to do it via Patreon, the Patreon is in the link of this video. Yes, it is. So thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. Once again, our condolences to the McLaurin and Hooper family. Our hearts is with you guys. We catch you guys later. Peace.